As I look back on my time in the Royal Air Force, the RAF, I'm filled with a complex mix of emotions. I joined the RAF at the tender age of 16 back in 1981, at a time when the armed forces were far from accepting of the LGBTQ community. I was not yet aware of my own gender identity or sexuality, but I was acutely aware of the Special Investigation Branch, the SIB, the anti-LGBT stance of the armed forces. I was recently reading the story of Mike Sansom, who was on the BBC website, a fellow RAF serviceman who was only 16 when he signed up. I'm filled with empathy and sorrow from his story. Mike, like many others, was subjected to brutal and degrading punishments for his sexuality. His story is a stark reminder of the struggles faced by many of my fellow service people during the time when I was serving. Mike's story is not unique. He was one of many who were subjected to invasive interrogations, medical examinations, and punishment for their sexuality. The British government didn't just know what was happening to gay servicemen and women, they gave the instructions. This was not just a violation of human rights, but a gross betrayal of trust and misuse of power. The treatment of LGBTQ individuals in the armed forces was not just confined to the RAF. The Army, the Royal Navy, and other branches of the military were equally culpable. Men and women lost their pensions, their jobs, their medals, and reputations for an offence that had been decriminalized for the rest of the population back in 1967. This was a dark chapter in our history, one that we must never forget. Reflecting on my own journey, I realised how fortunate I was to have escaped the scrutiny of the SIB for my own gender identity and sexuality. I was able to serve without the fear of being outed, interrogated, or punished for being me. But I also feel a deep sense of guilt. While I was serving my country, my fellow service people were suffering in silence, their lives torn apart for simply being who they were. The lifting of the ban on LGBTQ individuals serving in the military was in 2000, and it was a significant step forward, but it came too late for many. The scars of the past remain, and the fight for justice continues. Victims are calling for justice, for recognition of the wrongs done to them, and for restitution. As we celebrate Pride Month, let us not forget the struggles of the past. Let us remember the courage and resilience of individuals like Mike, who, despite the adversity they faced, continue to speak out and fight for justice. Their stories are a testament to the human spirit and a reminder of the progress we have made, but also of the work that still needs to be done. I want to leave you with a thought. The fight for acceptance, equality and justice is far from over. We must continue to stand up for our rights, to speak out against injustice, and to strive for a world where everyone is accepted for who they are. The past cannot be changed, but it can serve as a powerful reminder of the need for change. Let us use these reflections as a catalyst for action and understanding and for empathy. Remember, it's not just about tolerance, but more importantly about acceptance. It's not just about rights, but also about respect. And it's not just about diversity, it's also about dignity. Let us strive for a world where everyone can serve their country without fear of persecution or discrimination. Because in the end, we are all human and we all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Thank you for listening. And remember, our past shapes us, but does not define us. Let's continue to fight for a future where everyone is free to be themselves. My name is Joanne Lockwood, the inclusive culture expert with See Change Happen. Stay inclusive.